Welcome, beautiful souls. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a collective reading, a timeless message for you. And I pulled a few cards that I will clarify later in the message. And we're going to start with a crystal spirit oracle. I pulled the beautiful lapis lazuli. This stone is very special to me. It brings in energies of the High Priestess in the Major Arcana. It talks about renewing our spiritual alignment because the conscious universe, spirit, your guides, abundance, affluence, natural affluence is all around you. The source of love, of strength, of wisdom is available to you, but you can access that most effectively through meditation of some sort. And meditation, I understand, looks different for everyone. This isn't about the best meditation you can do. This is about preserving your sacred space, your personal silence, your inner sanctum, where you can listen to your own thoughts, listen to your feelings, allow thoughts, feelings, stories to emerge from within you, from within your experience. But what you are seeking is here. So it's interesting that this incredible, powerful beacon of enlightenment and of an inner vision is juxtaposed with the soul's journey card, fear. And I kind of am interested in what it states. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Such an interesting way to think about our fears, because for many of you, the more we attain or glimpse that inner vision, that enlightenment, that clarity, that consciousness of the universe, tap into that unity consciousness. In some ways, the more and more fears, anxiety, old stories, baggage seems to pop up out of the woodwork when we thought we had stuffed it back into the suitcase. And I like that because in my experience, these horrifying fears that in many cases are somewhat irrational, these worries, that's how fear comes to many of us. These things haven't even happened yet. And they may have happened to you in the past, but you overcame them because you're here. So there's very little that can occur that you can't deal with grace, and that you can't put in a context of the all-knowing source of love, wisdom, strength, clarity, purpose. So I do feel for many of you, you are on the verge, on the edge of an incredible breakthrough. This breakthrough of almost a returning home kind of feeling. And I mean that in the largest metaphorical sense. Returning home, that can be a home that you have lived in. It can be a home from another life. It can be the home in your heart, that you are finally arriving to a place of a full heart, the faith to move in the flow of your own powers, your own gifts, to allow those to live inside of you, to be visible, to make them visible in the world. In the past, I'm pulling the Four of Staffs and the Eight of Swords. And these two cards are telling me that you have been working on building a real community. And that community can be a community of family, a chosen family. It can be a community of neighbors or a larger regional community. But this is a community that celebrates the advancement, the growth, the accomplishment of its members. This is a beautiful goal. This is almost like a social or cultural reset where the terms of your togetherness, your unity exist on the support of those that are advancing. Growth here is privileged. All opportunities are those of growth, of learning, of being willing to learn, being open to learn, and doing that in the context of your relationships, where the process is clear, but the result is always unpredictable. And that's an exciting place to be when one accepts the abundance of the universe, the natural affluence of the world. Then that is all around us and all possibilities are abundant. The Eight of Swords here is showing me that you've worked on this for a really long time. This is the result of small, I want to call them rebellions, but they're not just rebellions. They're original thoughts. They're truthful experiences. They're your steps towards a greater sense of justice in the world. You're pursuing that truth through your community, through the work that you do with others. That truth that is relevant to others beyond yourself, the truths that can be shared and that can lead to fairness, equity in the world. This is something that you're pretty close to accomplishing, with the acceptance that a project like this is never really finished. And in your present, I have the Servant of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. What an interesting combination. So this is telling me that you are working hard, applying discipline to the things that you love, to the things that you can create. You're owning your reality in terms of your ability to envision and manifest what you feel in your heart, what you enjoy, what gives you pleasure, what allows you to be curious and playful. There's a lightness here that defies what is we consider as work ethic. Sounds so concrete, sounds so laborious. And indeed it can be. And I think for many of you, this is the operating system that you've been moving through. It's a brilliant operating system. This is about improving yourself, fixing things, making them better, all the things that are within your power to do so, improving your skills, improving your environment, improving your craft in a way that becomes a trance, a daydream, a loyalty to promises you've made yourself, ways of capturing your dreams in reality, ways that you can lift off, move into other realms, flow with the opportunities that exist, but always come back to the improvement of your gifts, understanding that that is an always assignment as you tap into this abundant universe. Why wouldn't you want to amplify a world that is abundant enough for everyone? And for the future, I have the Ten of Jades and the Sun card. This is quite a reading. The Ten of Jades we think of as, getting everything, having everything, everything you want, everything that speaks to you of material abundance and comfort. This is about stability and security. And I like it because this shows me that sense of security and stability, which does not exist in the world because the world operates on the principle of change. We can't predict that something that is here today will be here tomorrow. But when we move from a place of joyful pleasure and in the abundance of the world, in the abundance of the universe, this sense that there is enough, that I'm fueled, I'm fed, I'm nurtured, I'm loved, and I shine as a result. That's the security that you're translating for yourself. This is you moving away from the idea that it is the things that make me abundant and fluent. And of course, we need things to maintain our bodies and live in the world to survive. But those things originate from our desire to have them exist in our lives, from our desire, our understanding of our deservedness of the best. Abundance on your terms, not necessarily on terms of the world. I think many of us would agree that health is a kind of abundance that we all would aspire to. Very little else makes sense if we don't have some sense of holistic well-being, physical health. And so this is saying that abundance lives within you, and you are busy manifesting that into a safe, stable, secure base that is shared with others, that's shared with loved ones, that's shared with your community, that's shared with the world. This is manifesting that abundance so that it can be shared. And you're a willing community member, a willing member of the community. You identify with that family, world family, however you conceive of it. And that's what creates the change we want to see in the world. Our openness to changing ourselves, to changing the way we understand that God lives, Source lives, consciousness lives, Spirit lives. And Spirit, the abundance of the universe, creates change. I'm going to pull a couple more cards, not too many more. And I'm thinking about this authentic self that is blossoming for you. And Four of Wands comes out again. So this is really talking about, I think this is bringing the world back to your home base, the community, the family that you empower through the conscious willingness to learn, to grow, to understand the necessity of the challenges and obstacles you've been through, that they were gifts that you are grateful for. In fact, an understanding that is how we as humans learn, through adversity. We learn best through adversity. And this is to clarify that those that even have a lot are not free from challenges. I think it's pretty easy to see that in our social world today, in our celebrity culture. but you are in a place of resetting, re-solidifying, redefining your home abundance, your home growth, the celebration of your ability to grow, to learn, to expand. And that all is in the context of sharing what you have with others as a way of supporting others as they go through their learning process. This is to elevate the value of learning, the value of growth, the value of expanding, exposure to more, seeing other ways of doing things. Pull another card. That was a surprise. Another repeat card. So I think I'm going to wind up the message here because these are both repeats. So the 10 of Pentacles here is telling me about legacy. What we leave behind, what we're remembered for. And in this context, it's feeling like our good deeds, how we treat others. Do we empower them? Do we listen to them? Do we allow them to tell their story, their version of their experience, without our judging it, without our determining what it is before we've even been told what it is? There's something important here about listening, particularly to those that we believe we are helping or we want to help. What's the help that's being asked for? Is that different from the help you want to give? Do you already have a predetermined idea of what help should be for an individual? We're loosening up the structures of judgment that we've been subjected to. We're loosening those up as we review and understand our past and are grateful for the lessons we've learned. We're loosening up the judgments we've imposed upon ourselves and forgiven ourselves as we have forgiven others. Now that we realize that our greatest wealth, our greatest abundance is love, the assistance we can give to others who haven't had some of the experiences we have and need help navigating towards some of those experiences, some of those resources that we've been fortunate enough to have achieved, to have experienced. I think I am going to pull a flower oracle, and I pulled the status, and this is keyword is adaptation. Change will be better than you think. I love this. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be with you. Until next time, namaste.